Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar. I'm going to give everyone a few more moments to get logged on here, and then we will start. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Kayla, and I'm on the support team here at Triple-C. Today, I will be discussing Picklist in this webinar. As a note, microphones will be muted for the duration of the webinar, but we would love to answer your questions if you have them. That said, I have two teammates joining me today who will be answering those questions. And on your end, you should see a Q&A section where you can type in your questions as we go. We encourage you to ask questions throughout, but there is an allotted time at the end for questions as well. Throughout this webinar, we are going to discuss what picklists are and what they are used for, how to edit and add picklists, and what picklists look like on your documents. First, we will talk a little bit about what picklists are. So picklists are Triple-C's way of adding menu items to an event. Picklists allow you to add selectable menu items, entertainment options, or any event charges that are billed to your clients. Charges from Picklists will go towards your actual sales goals without including any billing details, so no taxes or fees. Let's now take a look at how these Picklists look like on an event. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my birthday party event here. And I'm going to click into my Documents tab and click right on this contract and event order to edit. If I scroll down here, you can see that I have already added a few food picklist items and beverage picklist items. For each picklist item, there are a few areas that we'll go over. The first will be the quantity and price columns. So the quantity will be multiplied by the price here to give you the picklist item total. So you can update these on the event by clicking into the quantity tab. So say if I wanted to update this to 5, I will just remove this and put in 5, and that total will automatically update. This will work the same way for the price column as well. So if I remove 25 and change the price to 30, that will update the total as well. Now, if we click the 3 dots to the right here, you will see that we have a long description. This long description for this item just gives a little more detail of what the item entails. And then the short description will be in this field here. I will talk a little bit more about short and long description once we head to settings. Another area to go over here is the menu item category. So currently this item is connected to our food menu item category. We do often get asked why picklist items fall into an other category within their billing widget. This happens when a picklist item is not assigned to a menu item category. So for example, if I were to click this drop down here and select no menu item category, it will first give me a notification that no category is assigned. And then if I scroll down to the billing widget, you will see that we have other here with that total from the picklist item. So we are going to go ahead and reassign this to the food menu item category by clicking into the category dropdown and selecting food. And as you can see, once I do that, the applicable taxes and fees will populate here as well. The menu item category that the picklist items are assigned to is what will appear in the billing widget as well as in reports. Now, I mentioned here by clicking the 3 dots to the right of the picklist item, it will expand the item, but you can also click the 3 dots in the upper right here to expand all picklist items within this section. Next, we will add a picklist from our list and also a freehand picklist item. To add an existing picklist, we will go ahead and click Add from Picklist, and here will be all of my available picklists that I can select from. So I'm going to go ahead and click into alcohol and bar, and any items that I would like to add, I'm just going to go ahead and check those off and then click Add Selected Items. As you can see, once I've added those items, their prices have populated. these are the prices that I have set in my settings pick list. I'm going to go ahead and put in quantities for each of these items by clicking into the quantity column and inputting the quantity. As you can see, once I have done that, the totals have populated as well. Now to add a freehand item, we will click Add Freehand. We were going to go ahead and fill out the quantity here. I'm going to give this a quantity of 10. Going to give a description of house wines. And I'll put in a price of 10, which will give it a total of 100. For a long description, we will put in red and white wines. And I'm going to connect this to our menu item category of alcoholic beverages. And then my applicable taxes and fees have populated as well. Now, a very important thing to note when adding a freehand pick list item is you always want to be sure to click this add button. If we were to fill out all of these fields and just click update as is, this pick list item will not be added to the event and it will not save. So you want to be sure to always click this add button so the item that we just created will be added to the event. So once we click that add button, you will see it will populate to the bottom here and it will be added to the event. Once we are all set making our updates, we want to be sure to always click update at the bottom here. And that sums up the basics of pick lists on event level documents and how they will look. We will take a quick break so you have time to ask any questions regarding pick lists on the event level. When we return, we are going to discuss pick lists and settings. Okay, let's continue. We will now discuss pick lists and settings and how to add new ones and make changes to existing ones. Please note that you will need access to settings in order to see the settings option on your homepage and to make any edits to your pick list. So I'm going to click into settings here, and then I will scroll down to my pick list section. Another important thing to note is that if a user does not have access to all locations, they will still be able to make changes to all pick lists in all locations. This is an essential fact to remember to ensure that there is consistency throughout all of your pick list. So here on our pick list page, there are a few areas to note. Here is our search bar where you can search by name and all pick list with that keyword will populate. So for example, I will type in buffet and then I will click apply. And here are all of my pick list with the keyword buffet. Now to clear that filter, we would just click clear filters. You can also show all deleted pick list by checking off show deleted fields and clicking apply. These pick lists in red that appear are the pick lists that were an option but have since been deleted. You can recover these pick lists as well by clicking the recover button to the right here. To the right, we have this gear icon. If you hover your mouse over the gear icon, you will have a few options here. At the bottom, you can delete this pick list. And you also have the option to copy a pick list. Copying a pick list will create an exact duplicate of the pick list, but it will not assign it to a location. So if I were to click copy and I scroll to the bottom here, it will show that pick list here has been copied and it will have copy next to it. And it will also let me know that no locations have been assigned to the pick list. So if you do make a copy, just make sure to assign that pick list to the appropriate locations. You can also drag and drop this intersecting arrow here if you would like to change the order in which the pick lists appear. Please note that the order in which the pick lists appear here will be the order in which the pick lists appear when you are adding them to an event. We are now going to create a new pick list. So we will first click this new pick list button. For this pick list, we will name it beer and wine. And I will set a description of assortment of beers and wines. These names, as they appear here, will be internal only, so they will not be reflected on the menu itself or on any customer-facing documents. So once we have filled these fields out, we will go ahead and click OK. Here is where you will add additional items to this pick list. For this specific pick list, our first item will be named beer and wine package. And we will set a long description of assortment of craft beer and California wine. Now you can kind of customize and format how this text looks by highlighting here, and we can bold it. We can also italicize and underline by using these buttons here, and we can update the font size by clicking the drop down here and making that just a little bigger. Now we are going to be sure to click that add button again to add this item to this pick list. Now I'm going to go ahead and add in just a few items to this pick list by clicking the add button to the bottom here. We're going to add in these items right now, and then we will go ahead and customize these after we add them. So now that we have these items added, you will see that there is a notification that no category has been assigned. So as I mentioned before, each picklist item should be assigned to a menu item category so that all appropriate taxes and fees apply to the items. So to update each of these items here, we will use this mass assign this category. So if we go ahead and expand all, you will see that each item does not have a category assigned. So there is nothing under here. So we will use the drop down here under mass assign this category, and we will select alcoholic beverages. And as you can see, each item has been assigned to the alcoholic beverage menu item category. The mass assigned to these billing items will work the same way. So say if I want all of these items to have sales tax applied, I can go ahead and just check off sales tax, and then each item will have sales tax applied as well. So now I'm going to start building out each of these items and customizing what these items will be. So our first item will be red wines. I'm going to set a price of 15. So anytime someone selects this picklist item, the price will populate to 15. You can also set in a set quantity if you would like, just by clicking into the quantity here and inputting whatever quantity applies to this item. For this item, we're going to leave the quantity as 0 so you can customize it on the event, but we will leave that price as 15. Next item we will add in will be white wines. I will set that price to be 15 as well. Our next item will be light beers, and I will set that price to be 6. And our last item will be IPAs, and that price will be 8. As I said, I'm going to leave those quantities blank here so I can edit them on the event. Okay, once we have finished adding in these items, we're going to want to be sure to click save at the bottom here so these changes save. Next, let's take a look at how to edit an existing picklist item. So I'm going to go ahead and click into my displays and dips picklist, and I'm going to update the name of the cube cheese platter to say meat and cheese board. So to do that, we're just going to click into the field here, and we're going to remove this. And I'm going to just type in my new name of cheese and meat board. And then I'm going to update the price as well, just by clicking into the field, removing this price and putting in my new one. And then that will update this picklist item on any newly created documents. To save that, we want to, again, just be sure to click save at the bottom here. And that wraps up how to add and adjust Picklist in settings. We're going to take a quick break so you have time to ask any questions that you may have. And when we come back, we will look at how Picklists look like on your documents. Okay, let's continue. We're going to wrap up today's webinar by heading to Documents within Settings and looking at how your Picklists look like on your document set. So we are going to head back into our Settings tab, and then we're going to scroll down and go to our Documents. I'm going to go ahead and click right on my contract and event order to edit. And then I will scroll down to where I have my Picklist sections added. A few things to keep in mind is that if there are any restrictions to your Picklist, you will need to restrict the Picklist here by checking off the Picklist under Restrict to these Picklists. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and check off the buffet menu. This is a common question we get from users if you want to keep the selectable options clean and organized when adding Picklist items to an event. This is a great feature to help you and your team stay organized if you work at a multi-location group or if you have numerous menus. You can limit what Picklists are available to select from in certain sections in your documents. So for example, you can make it so only the food Picklist appear in the food section by checking off the food Picklist. And you can do the same for beverage as well. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and check off the beer and wine menu that we just created. And I will go ahead and check off some other beverage Picklist items as well. Once we have restricted those Picklists, be sure to always click Save Template so those changes save. Now we are going to head to the kitchen sheet layout to take a look at how the Picklist items we have created will appear on the layout. So I will click into kitchen sheet on the left here. And I will scroll down to where my Picklists appear and click into the field here. As I mentioned before, you can enable the long description or short description on the layout here. So you can do that by clicking the drop down next to description. If we have it set to normal, it will display the short description. If we change it to long, it will only show the long description. And if we update it to both, it will show the short description up top as well as the long description on the bottom. You can also customize how the Picklist appears. So you can check off show quantity if you want the quantity of each Picklist item to show on this layout, and you can also show the price by clicking show price. These customizations are available to be selected differently on each individual layout as well. So once I have that set, I'm going to be sure to click Save Layout. Next, we're going to take a look at how these Picklists look like on your customer-facing documents. So I'm going to head back into the event we were working on previously. So we're going to go to the birthday party, click back into the Documents tab, and click on the Contract and Event Order. Going to go ahead and scroll down back to this Picklist section. And I'm going to show you how to add in the Picklist that we just added in our settings Picklist. So if we click Add from Picklist, as you can see, this is the beverage section. So these are the beverage Picklists that I restricted in my settings documents that we just saw. So this is the new Picklist that we just added, was the beer and wine. So I'm going to click on that. And for this Picklist, I will select the beer and wine package as well as red and white wines. Add those items in. I will go ahead and input some quantities on these. And then click Update at the bottom so those changes save. Now, if we click into the PDF here of our banquet event order, we are going to take a look at how these Picklists will appear on your customer-facing documents. Okay. If we scroll down here, you will see this beverage section, and here are the Picklist items that we just added. And there we have it. We have just covered all of today's content. A recording of this webinar will be sent to the email address that you entered when registering for this webinar. Our team will stick around for the remainder of the time to answer any questions that you may have. If any questions come up later, please feel free to contact our team by clicking the Help Question button up here from any page within CCC.